Topic 1. The US and Iran signed a 14-point memorandum of understanding to enter 60 days of final talks, agreed to allow normal vessel transits through the Strait of Hormuz for 60 days, and the US halted enforcement of a blockade along the Iranian coast. Follow-up technical talks scheduled in Bergenstock, Switzerland, collapsed amid US logistical and scheduling issues. Vice President J.D. Vance's cancelled trip proved decisive, and questions remain about the deal's durability given ongoing Israeli-Lebanese strikes and regional tensions. Shipping has partially resumed, with some tankers and merchant ships transiting, June 17 to 18 spikes observed, but the central channel may remain blocked and mines could persist, so full restoration could take weeks to months. Oil traded in the $75.82 range after peaking near $180, with markets warned that much economic damage from months of conflict is already baked in. Politically, the pact is contentious. Trump praised it as an Iran surrender, while critics call it excessive concession, and Moscow has vowed escalation after a Ukrainian drone strike, adding a further geopolitical risk. Topic 2. The yen plunged near 40-year lows, around 160 to 161.8 per dollar, despite Japan deploying about $11.7 trillion, roughly $73 billion of reserves in intervention attempts, heightening short-term volatility and the risk of further market intervention. The driver is a widening US-Japan yield gap, 10-year JGBs near 2.64% versus US 10-year Treasuries around 4.45%, and domestic signals of fiscal and easing bias that sustain carry trades against the yen. Markets have repriced for a more hawkish Fed, with traders now assigning greater than 50% odds, some indicators near the mid-50s%, to another rate hike, fueling a stronger dollar and pressure on non-dollar currencies. Central bank uncertainty persists. BOJ moves have limited effect amid political flux, and the Fed's reasserted inflation focus is provoking broad market repricing and elevated FX volatility. Topic 3. AI momentum remains strong but uncertain. Micron's upcoming quarter is treated as a key test of memory demand and the durability of AI-driven data center investment that has underpinned the semiconductor rally. Intel and Apple announced US partnerships to boost chip design and onshore production, while big tech continues huge capex plans for AI infrastructure. Meta reportedly secured about 1.6 gigawatts of power via deals, including Crusoe to expand data center capacity. Anthropic faces US regulatory scrutiny over high-performance model vulnerabilities, Mythos, Fable, even as select preview access persists for early partners. Amazon is probing engineers who publicly criticized data center projects, and Accenture's weaker guidance has hit Indian IT names, TCS, Infosys, HCL, sending sector sentiment lower. Topic 4. Reliance's Jio platforms filed IPO paperwork, seeking roughly $360 billion, about $3.8 billion, offering up to 270 million new shares, and targeting proceeds mainly to repay $275 billion of Reliance Jio Infocom debt. The deal would sell about 2.9% post-issue and could value the company at roughly $131 billion, with Google and Meta already among major shareholders. Jio is also pursuing low Earth orbit satellite options, leasing global constellation capacity while reviewing its own satellite and ground infrastructure to extend service to remote areas and potentially compete or cooperate with Starlink amid regulatory safeguards. SpaceX saw post-IPO gains reverse, and early buyers face steep losses after a 20% drop. Even as banks prep large dollar bond fundraising plans, reports of roughly $20 billion in potential offers to refinance bridge loans for growth and AI data center projects. Nasdaq newcomer Cardigan upsized to a $400 million listing and debuted sharply higher, signaling renewed investor appetite in select biotech and late-stage companies. Topic 5. A NetJets Cessna Citation Latitude crashed near Laredo, Texas, killing Austin VC founder Joshua Bear 50. 2 pilots and 3 teenage passengers survived. Pilots reported fuel